2020 has been, in many ways, disappointing. Too many ways to count, really. And one of those ways, albeit less serious of an issue than others, is gaming. Fans, especially Nintendo fans, have seen a great lack of games released this year, especially in comparison to past years. But I have still managed to have a blast this year, playing 4 incredible games. In this video, I will detail them in no particular order, so you can hopefully make up your mind on whether they would be good for you or not. I'm going to start this list with what is easily my favourite game I played this year, and perhaps even one of my favourite games of all time, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. 3 years ago, I had never heard of the series, then a little game called Xenoblade Chronicles 2 released for the Nintendo Switch, and whilst I won't detail that game here, needless to say, I was hooked the instant I began playing. So, when I heard that the original game was being remade and released for the Switch, I was incredibly excited. But, did it live up to the hype? 1,000 times yes. Whilst not a prequel to 2, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition was, like its successor, jam-packed with memorable and wonderfully written characters, vast and beautiful environments, a unique and highly engaging battle system, an absurdly amazing soundtrack, and, most importantly of all, the best story I have ever witnessed in a video game, and that is not an overstatement in any fashion. The story presented here is so well written, deep, and infinitely interesting that if I were to sit here and describe it, it would take all day, frankly. In every sense of the word, I was blown away. Without going into too much detail, and keeping spoilers to a bare minimum, the main story revolves around our protagonist Shulk's journey of revenge after his hometown is ravaged by a malevolent force known as the Mechon. This story is so unique due to its setting. Every environment you'll explore is set on the bodies of 2 colossal titans, and as you travel your way across them, the story will unfold. You'll explore a wide array of areas, whether it be a vast grassy plain on one of a Goliath's outstretched legs, or the decapitated hand of one of them after it fell off during an ancient battle. Along the way, you'll engage in thrilling and unique real-time combat involving your ever-increasing cast of characters, every one of which is unique and completely distinct. Whilst it may seem relatively unremarkable, I can promise you that the journey you go on if you play this game is anything but. There are twists and turns around every corner, every step of the way, and enough plot twists to keep you second guessing yourself all the way through. I truly cannot recommend this game enough. It is the definition of a masterpiece.
Do you wish to change it? Huh? The future.
Let's shift from a game of such a huge magnitude to one much more mundane, but still highly enjoyable. Of course, I'm talking about Animal Crossing New Horizons. I understand why many people say games of this genre seem boring and needlessly drab, and it's true that it certainly isn't a game for everyone, but I can safely say that I had a great time with it. The basic premise of the game is to live a simple and carefree life on this island that you've been sent to, and over time it will get more built up with new residents and buildings appearing as you gather resources. It's very slow paced, but in a lot of ways I think that's where the enjoyment comes from. To put it short, it's relaxing. It provides an easy escape from the fast, frantic struggles of real life to a world where everything moves at a pace you want and where you can simply soak in the mellow, chilled out atmosphere to cool off. The game has a very cartoonish, stylized and even somewhat childlike art style that some would regard as childish, but it's hard not to smile when you see the adorable residents of your island singing alongside each other in the plaza, or attempting to catch insects but failing every time. Customization is key here too. Your island is yours to shape, with hundreds of decorative items available to perfect your island paradise and to make it truly your own. There are also a wide array of insects and fish to catch, and trees to fell, and rocks to gather. There are so many tiny little tasks available every day that it's easy to find yourself caught in a loop of playing a game for a short amount of time each day, just participating in your daily routine. Whilst it's certainly not my favourite game, and nor is it a game that everyone will be able to get enjoyment out of, New Horizons will always have a place in my heart for the solace it offered me from the horrors of 2020. If you enjoy more chilled out, stress-free, lifestyle sim games, New Horizons is perfect for you. I highly recommend it. Let's get one thing straight right off the bat here. Age of Calamity is not a prequel to Breath of the Wild. Rather, it is a game which offers a look at a differing outcome of the Calamity 100 years ago. Whilst originally I was very disappointed by this, and even somewhat angry that Nintendo had lied to its fans about it being a true prequel, it's undeniable that Age of Calamity is very enjoyable. Even if it's not consistent with the events 100 years prior to Breath of the Wild, I can't deny that it's lovely to see more of the beloved but woefully underdeveloped characters of that game. The story told here is nothing incredible, don't get me wrong, but I love it for the new look it gives us into Hyrule's characters, and the relationship they share with one another. In terms of gameplay, Age of Calamity offers an admittedly rather generic hack-and-slash fighting game experience, but that's not to say it's not enjoyable. On the contrary, in fact, cutting through vast armies of enemies, be it the Goblins or even Guardians or other iconic enemies to the Zelda series, is immensely satisfying, especially due to the massive cast of playable characters you can use to do so, whether it be the swift and stylish sword action Link provides, or the heavy, powerful and forceful but slow moveset of the Goron champion Daruk. Each character is unique and all are very enjoyable to play as. I also adore how faithfully Age of Calamity has managed to replicate the aesthetics of Breath of the Wild. All the UI and HUD elements look like they were ripped straight out of that game, and the art style in general is almost identical, brilliant in immersing the player so they feel as if they are in the same universe. Additionally, the game features a massive amount of content post-game, with hundreds of mini-battles and missions available, many of which have unique mechanics and conditions, so everyone feels different from the last. Even if you're not a massive fan of the hack-and-slash genre, as I wasn't, Age of Calamity is great for the more detailed look it gives you into Breath of the Wild's Hyrule. That's why it's on this list. I recommend it to any Zelda fan. Astral Chain is unique from the other games on this list for two reasons. It actually released last year, and I'm currently playing through it for the first time as of writing a script. Despite not having completed it yet, however, I can already confidently say that the game is so good it would be an injustice not to include it. The game takes place in a dystopian future of planet Earth, in which monstrous invaders known as Chimera are invading from another dimension through gates opening up between the two worlds. Through capturing these creatures, the people remaining on Earth have created what are known as legions. Essentially, they are Chimera forced to do humanity's bidding by fighting against other Chimera, fighting against their own kin, therefore. In battle, use traditional weapons such as a gun, greatsword or short sword to combat Chimera alongside your legions, which you control simultaneously. As you are connected by a chain, hence the name, you can use this in all sorts of clever and exciting ways during battle, such as tying your enemy up by circling them with your legion or forming a massive net which catapults them in the other direction when they run into it. Your legions also have specific abilities too, and with there being 5 types available, there are therefore countless ways you can fight in this game. Personally, I'm a massive fan of this battle system. It's incredibly satisfying learning to work in tandem with your legion and very deep yet easy to understand. I also love simply how stylish Astral Chain is, disregarding the graphics, which are great by the way. The aesthetics of the UI, environments, music and character designs are all so darn stylish. It really captures a vibe of a dystopian yet lively and futuristic planet Earth perfectly, and it keeps you immersed at all times throughout the game. Finally, I am blown away simply by how much variety this game offers in its gameplay. You'll go from collecting information at a crime scene as a police officer, to fighting your way through hordes of monsters, to partaking in light platforming and puzzle sections. This constant switching of a type of gameplay is what keeps Astral Chain so incredibly captivating, as you never know what to expect next. It's utterly unpredictable, which I utterly love. It would mean the world to me if any of the 4 games featured in this video resonated with you at any level, because it means other people could have as much fun with them as I did this year. Let's hope 2021 has just as fine of a selection. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.